Hello class. So in this presentation we're going to cover another one of Hofstede's 6 dimensions of culture. This time the dimension that we're going to cover is masculinity versus femininity, or MAS, mass for short. In this presentation I'm going to give the definition of what is masculinity versus femininity, the characteristics of masculine societies, the characteristics of feminine societies, something that's a little unique about this dimension of culture compared to the other 5 dimensions of culture, and then some countries which are found on the high end and the low end of the masculinity versus femininity score. So first, the definition. So masculinity versus femininity talks about the degree of difference between emotional gender roles, and emotional is important here because there are many kinds of gender roles, and this one is focused on emotional gender roles. And its primary focus is on the interactions between people, between men and other men, or between women and other women, and between men and women both, or between adults and children, or fathers and mothers and their children. Things like this, for example. It's important to mention that it's not about social gender roles. That is related to wealth of a country a lot, and it does not apply, or there are not similar things found between countries of many different types. And it's important to note that in this scale, masculinity and femininity are not necessarily the opposite of one another, and you will see this in the examples. So let's take a look at a masculine society. A masculine society is a society where work is more important than family, and in some cases it's even an excuse to neglect the family, and this is often by the fathers or the males in a couple or in a family with children. And within the family, men often deal with facts, or like things about money or important decisions, and the women deal with feelings like of the child or between the husband and the wife in a relationship. And there is oftentimes a feeling of negativity towards people who are poor, like that they are lazy or they are unmotivated to solve their own problems. And people that are weak are often looked down upon. These are some characteristics of masculine societies. On the flip side, feminine societies are different but not totally the opposite. So whereas in the masculine society there is an emphasis on work over family, the feminine societies are not societies where family is more important than work. They actually are societies where there is a balance between work and family, both. Similarly, both mom and dad fill the fact roles and the feeling roles, where it's normal for both fathers and mothers to deal with these things with their children or between each other. And in feminine societies, there is much more sympathy towards those who are less fortunate, people who are poor, people who do not have work. And there is not an idea that those people are lazy. Perhaps there is something that is out of their control, which is keeping them down. So something that's really interesting about the masculinity versus femininity score or cultural dimension is that it really depends on who you ask. With the other 5 dimensions of culture, if you survey people in a country or in a society, the results actually end up being the same or very similar if you ask men or women or children or adults for most things. But with the scores of masculinity versus femininity, you actually get different results between males and females. And an indicator of a very masculine society would be a society where the difference between the male and female responses are larger. Where the responses are more similar is a society which is more feminine in a way. And no other dimension works this way. This is the only dimension that functions like this. So what are some examples? For masculine societies: Hungary, Austria, which are both in Europe, one in Central and one in East. And Venezuela are very masculine societies. And for feminine societies, Sweden, the Netherlands, two northern European countries, and Costa Rica, which is just south of the United States, is a very feminine society according to this scale. So I hope you were able to learn a little bit about this cultural dimension and what it means, and can use it when you look at cultures and people moving forward. Thanks for watching.